Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Cube!
Fucking Cube!
Hi, everybody. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
My name is David Bell.
My name is Tom Ryman.
And we just watched Cube Zero.
Cube Zero.
No cubes. Zero cubes.
Zero cubes.
Done with cubes. Fuck
No cubes.
all the cubes.
It's like some kind of code we have to figure out.
She's doing better than most. Half of them don't even notice the letters, let alone the map.
Don't get involved.
She doesn't stand a chance.
Of course she has a chance.
Yeah? You gonna ride in on your white horse and whisk her out?
She's gonna die in there, and she's probably innocent.
What are you doing? You're not allowed in there. No!
Negative cubes.
You know what the porn version of this is called,
That's not
right?
entirely accurate. No.
Pubes Zero.
Cube Zero. There you go. That checks
fuck.
out.
Hey, folks, it's Thursday. We just want to do a shout out here to Burrito Mouth. Burrito Mouth is the wonderful patron who has been making us watch all the Cube movies. Spoilers, this is the last Cube movie. They have not stopped making us watch Cube-themed movies after this.
That will not end.
Yeah, so whenever we do a podcast about something with the word cube in it, you know who it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the bit.
I mean, they're leaning real hard into it.
Yeah, and honestly, all the other Cube movies probably gonna be better than these. I mean, all right, how did you like? This is the third and final Cube movie.
This is the third Cube movie, but it's actually a prequel.
Yes, hence Zero.
Yeah.
How'd you like this, Tom?
This is a bad movie.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
This is a bad film.
They
really, I mean, just right off the bat before we really get into it, Cube is kind of one of those movies that can't really have a sequel.
Exactly.
So,
it really comes down to that.
Right. So much of what made the first Cube intriguing and interesting is all of the mystery around it. You don't know what's going on.
Right. That's the fucking point.
It's the point. Now we're on our third movie of having to watch yet another group of people figure out they're in a cube, figure out the coordinates, like go through the same motions.
They do the shoe thing again. They do all the same.
It's the
fucking things
and
again.
all the characters are the same.
Yes, they have to fit. It's literally every Cube movie. Group of people wake up. Do you remember anything? No. Do you remember anything? No, but I'm weirdly aggressive. Okay. What do we do? Well, it seems we gotta get out of this cube. All right. So let's go to this next room. Oh no, there's traps in the rooms. Or here's a character who has already figured that out. So what do we do about it? Oh, let's throw a shoe in. Okay, the shoe works. Oh wait, the shoe doesn't always work. This is in every fucking cube.
It's in every cube.
And then how do we get out? Oh shit, the cubes are moving. Oh, you don't say. Oh my god, look, there's writing on the sides of the cubes. Well, let's use those to get out. That's every fucking cube.
Yeah.
You only need one cube.
And it's also...
Only need one.
They get to the room and it's like, oh, this is the exit room. We just need for it to wait to align with the outside and then we'll have a few seconds to escape. Every Cube movie.
They haven't changed the fucking cube. Although in Cube 2, they changed it to be nonsense. This is my god. They usually begin with a cold open. This one, it's grizzled Simon Pegg getting melted.
Yeah, that's something I want to bring up about this one.
Yeah.
This version of Cube is like shockingly violent.
Yeah,
Like the others weren't that. And then this
they were kind of violent. But this one,
a little bit. This one is like grotesquely violent.
this one, all right. The word I would describe this is goopy.
Yeah.
It's a goopy film.
Yeah.
It's like they had a guy who was like, "You want goop? I'll give you goop." And so they did a few goopy deaths.
Mm-hmm.
They liked chemicals in this one for some reason. It was all chemicals in every room.
Yeah,
There was
except the one guy
the-
that gets like sectioned by garroting wire.
Right, but it was just like there's a freezing room, there's a
Yeah.
disease room,
Yeah.
there's a fucking goop room.
Mm-hmm.
It opens with this again Simon Pegg looking motherfucker, getting gooped, and he gets sprayed with something that he thinks is water, and it's not water, and then he's like, oh no, and it starts like congealing his hand, and he starts like scratching, and it's just like, dude, stop.
Yeah, stop doing that. It's clearly peeling your skin off.
Yeah, and he like rips off his arm, and then he's like, "Oh no, my face!" And he starts doing it to his face, and it's like, "Stop peeling it off! I mean, you're gonna die." And then he turns into a lovely jam.
He just turns into jelly, yeah.
Yeah,
Like pie filling
yeah,
with bones in it.
yeah. But okay, so we'll get more into how this is a prequel. But you know what really bothered me, Tom, about this?
I mean, there's any number of things I could say right now, so just go ahead and tell me
Yes.
what really bothered you.
Why did they make the ports round? They were square in the original, right?
I don't remember.
I'm almost certain they were square in the original. Let me double check that
Mm-hmm.
by googling cube film. Yeah, fucking things were square. They're square.
That's a weird thing to get hung up on. Maybe it's because it's zero, so they wanted a bunch of zeros all over the place all the time.
I know that's why, but considering what we know about the ending of this movie, can we just reveal it? That the main character appears to be either of the same thing done to him or the same character.
I don't
as
think he's the same character as Kazan from the first
Okay.
movie.
Okay. All right. So it's the idea that this is just a different cube in a different location.
It seems to be because it's a smaller cube too. Because remember they use
you're right.
letters instead of numbers, so it's only 26 cubes wide or 25 cubes wide, and the 26th layer is
You're
where
right.
the exit rooms rotate.
Oh, you're right, because the original had numbers, not letters. Okay, it's not the same cube. I
No.
retract my issue. It still bothers me that they're all circular. It's a cube, Tom.
Yeah, it's
You know?
just there's enough. Look, I get why that stuck out in your mind if you thought that this was literally the cube from the first movie. But yeah, there's so many other terrible, stupid things in this movie that I'm really shocked that this is the one
Yeah.
you landed on. That's the thing that
Well-
really bothered you. What about the stupid villain? The stupid
Which one?
villain with the terrible fake eye?
The mobster dystopian.
The weird
villains?
mobster who was like
All right,
who was trying to be every anime villain?
we haven't even talked about what the catch is about this one, because it is technically different from the other cubes in one aspect, which is that this one takes place sort of outside of the cube sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
This guy in the beginning gets melted
Yeah.
through the fucking his stupid round doors.
Mm-hmm.
And then we zoom out, and there's this like goth Matrix office that these dudes are working
Yeah,
in, and
the-
they're
the-
watching the experiments.
The goth tricks.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, Tom, but I was immediately like, the moment I saw this, I was like, oh, they're part of the experiment.
Oh yeah, no,
of course they
it's
are.
clear. Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah. I am unclear about some other stuff though, but so they're working in this like dystopian Matrix office, and it's like this guy who's drawing
Comic book style illustrations
Yeah,
of like
I'm
his
gonna-
coworker, the people on screen.
the other guy's playing chess, and they're like, hey, do you remember much? And they're like, not really. Like, that's pretty much the casual conversation. It's like, man, I don't remember last time I went outside. And it's like, yeah, because you're test subjects.
Yeah,
We
you
get
guys
it,
are.
movie.
Yeah, we get it. We get it.
I know that's supposed to be the plot twist, but you're really laying down some
You're
thick ass hints here.
yeah, you're laying down the tracks pretty clear. Ahead
Yeah,
of
they have
time.
two.
You're laying
they
that
have two other-
foundation.
They have two missing coworkers. One is Michael Chiklis, or at least the last name was Chiklis, and I
Yeah,
couldn't stop
yeah.
thinking about him. But
It's the
it was spelled different.
It's all I could think of. The two missing guys is the Running Man. with fucking Jim Brown. No, they're last year's losers.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, well, clearly they've been sent to the cube.
Yeah, they get Matrix pill lunches as well. We're like, time for lunch, and this weird
fucking crazy ass writing.
Yeah, and this like old timey elevator brings it down, and it's like, all right, if you wanted us to think this wasn't part of the experiment, because they later reveal it like a twist. It's like, if you want that, don't make the set look like a fucking dream. Have it look like an actual office.
Yeah, it looks like a Terry Gilliam thing. Like they have they're surrounded by huge filing cabinets. There's one old rotary style but still push button phone that's like under a locked cage.
Yeah.
They have an elevator from the 1920s that brings them pills and a little like room service platter.
Yeah, and it's all like, don't ask questions.
Yeah,
just the boys upstairs are handling it. They kept talking about the people upstairs. And then the elevator only goes down, and it goes into the cube for some reason.
Yeah.
And you'd think like, oh, that's part of the experiment. But then the bad guys show up, and they're like, how did he get in the cube? And it's like, but like the elevator went down to the cube.
Yeah, maybe
the elevator had two stops. Yeah. One was here, the other was the cube.
Why would the elevator go to the cube?
Yeah. Yeah, if that's not part of the experiment, why would it do that?
Yeah.
How is that an exit? Because they keep talking about like there's only 3 exits. Is that and they handle like one of the exits. But that's a different exit than the one that we see. So why does it go down to the fucking cube?
I don't know. In case you need to do like, I don't know.
It makes no sense.
In case you need to go down and change a fuse.
Yeah. So so he's watching this lady in the cube. They use a prize claw to read her dreams.
They sure do.
Like an arcade prize claw comes out.
It's a little robot claw that comes out of the ground.
Yeah.
And scans her forehead with a barcode scanner, and then we get to see her dreams.
Yeah, and in her dreams, is her dream a memory?
Work. Apparently, yeah.
Because her memory is her taking a forest stroll with her daughter while wearing a party dress.
Yes.
And that was very confusing to me.
Well, it wasn't a party dress. That was like a sundress or like a summer dress.
It's not a woods hiking dress. She's not dressed for being in the woods.
Okay, I just want you to understand there's a world of difference between what she was wearing and a party dress.
You could party in that dress, though.
You can.
That's a dress I think you could wear to a party. Not like a ballroom dress, but it's like a summer backyard party dress.
Yeah, okay.
It's not a in the woods dress. Can we agree that it's not a dress you would wear?
I mean, she's
hiking through the woods.
She's on a trail. I don't know.
It just all right. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's a weird choice for the costume for her to be in a dress walking through the woods. I guess that means it wasn't a plan. Because if she was like, "Hey, daughter, let's go walk through the woods," she'd probably put on some pants, right?
Maybe.
I feel like I would, but I don't know. Maybe not. Whatever. It popped out at me. And there's all this goddamn character drama that we couldn't give a shit about. She wakes up in the cube, and again, everybody's weirdly aggressive. There's the woman who's like, they have like a thing where she's the woman who wakes up is the only one who sort of knows something.
Right. The amnesia in this film is very convenient. Everybody else remembers absolutely nothing. She remembers like a couple of important details about the world in which they exist.
Right. And there's this hilarious back and forth where they're like, I know what you are. I don't know what I am. I know that you're like a soldier. I know something. And another woman just goes like, I don't like her. She knows something. It's like, what the fuck is this dialogue? Because there's like that. They're like, again, weirdly aggressive.
Yeah, that's every Cube movie.
Everyone
immediately wants to beat the shit out of each other.
Except the first one, which subverts the idea, and that's the fun of the first Cube movie. This one, it's just like they act like they're on a reality TV show, and they have to eliminate everybody else. They're just so like oddly hostile.
Yeah, it's very Survivor.
Yeah, it is. So that happens. Once again, they have to do all the fucking things again.
It's all the same Cube stuff you've seen.
Yeah.
Throwing boots, checking coordinates.
I think the traps are worse. Way more. Like the first guy who dies in the trap we talked about, where the all the fucking wire comes out.
Yeah.
Motherfucker has a good 30 seconds to get out of there when he realizes it's a trap room.
Well, all the doors shut.
But can you not open them again?
I mean, they seem to be locked sometimes.
Can you not? Because all right, I guess a lot of the traps in this one were based off of nozzles.
Yes.
They seemed very nozzle based.
It was very nozzle focused. They really liked to spray people with shit in this one.
Yeah. But a lot of those nozzles feel like you could just go around them or break them, bend them with your hands. Because the nitrogen one, it was these two nozzles came out really far and then sprayed the boot. And it was why not just not be near the nozzle? The nozzle doesn't seem to cover the entire room. It's not like a mist.
I don't know.
It seemed like some real shoddy traps.
I mean, they sucked in general for sure.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know where the nozzle's coming from.
Yeah, I guess.
We're not really seeing all of it.
So what the fuck happens in this movie, Tom? The guy's watching the lady.
The guy's watching the lady. He's all smitten. He realizes he's seen her in the newspaper. She's a political dissident. He pulls her file and sees that she doesn't have a consent form, because the idea is that we're in some sort of dystopia, and the cube is kind of like the Running Man, where you can either serve your prison sentence or you can agree to go into the cube and maybe make it out.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody would. I don't know. I guess maybe if you don't know what the cube is.
The implication is that nobody does. They just wipe people's memory and forge their signatures on these documents. Oh, right.
This also means Cube 2 Hypercube is not accurate, because that one, it's like a government experiment. That's supposed to take place after the first cube, and this is before. And it's the government, the look of the villains and shit in this is wildly different than the look of the villains in Cube 2.
Right, they look like the Men in Black from that X-Files episode.
Right.
And again, one fucking Cyclops dude that walks in and starts doing bad Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Picture the cheesiest dude in a theater class doing Iago, and that's what this character is. It's
this character is
it is the most irritating bad guy.
He's got heavy goth nightclub vibes, heavy clove cigarettes.
Oh yeah, he's got a cane.
Approaching.
He's got a silver handled cane.
Yeah, he's the kind of person that when he approaches you at a nightclub, you're like, nope, no, He's got hardcore fucking pickup artist vibes.
Oh, he's a close-up magician for sure.
Yeah, and he's the fucking villain, and that's a real shame. So our two main characters in this, watching the experiment in the Matrix office, one of them's curious, the other one's like, don't ask questions.
Yeah.
Then we learn that someone gets to the end of the cube, and they have to do the end of cube. I don't know what this is. They're like, someone got to the exit room. So they have to put up this Gilliam-esque machine. They're trying to be Terry Gilliam, but not at the same time. It's trying to be like Brazil, but there's no follow through.
It's like a horror movie
style.
It's like a horror movie version of Brazil, but only the aesthetic of Brazil. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not saying anything. It's not satirical.
No.
It doesn't have any other comment or purpose. It's just we like the aesthetic of brutalist bureaucracy.
And so they set up this separate machine for the person who got out.
What they apparently need two people for?
Yeah, and I don't know why.
Maybe it's a tandem thing to make it's to make sure that the other person actually does it.
I guess, but they have this computer bank they work off of, and then they go up to this old timey machine. And does he roll it over to somewhere?
Yeah, he wheels it over. It's like a Pee-wee's Playhouse machine.
Yeah, and I don't know what it does, because as far as I can tell, it's just another computer. And so they put this motherfucker is they go through the white void that we see at the end of Cube 1, and it turns out...
I really don't like that either. It's another reason I reject this.
Yeah. Turns out that when you go through that white void, you are suddenly in like a Klingon starship, the prison, or like a Tool video. Like it's like you're just in this black space with chains.
And then the BDSM collar shoots out of the ground.
Yeah, and then they ask you questions.
You're all fucking Rammsteined out.
And they ask 2 questions. What is your name? And then, do you believe in God? Mm-hmm. And this wiener, like the workers have to ask it. I don't know why this isn't automated. It doesn't require. Why is this a thing? Because like
it's part of the experiment, I assume.
I assume it's part of the test on these guys.
It's a test on these guys, right? It's that test of where this was probably a Skinner test because he was a madman. Where they would get somebody in to like press a button that would administer electric shocks to people.
Right, they had actors pretend to be shocked.
Right, yeah, nobody was actually being shocked. They were testing the person pressing the button. So I suspect maybe that's what the point of this is, but they never explain it. And they make a whole thing about how the guy, when they ask him if he believes in God, the guy says no. So they press the button that says no, and it fucking incinerates him.
Yes.
And then the one character asks the other guy, he's like, well, what happens if they say yes? And he's like, I don't know. Nobody's ever said yes.
Right. And it's
they never show us what happens when you say yes.
They never show that.
You can't put that in a movie and then not resolve it.
Right, they set it up like something like, oh, and now we're going to get to see someone say yes.
Yeah.
But also, why hasn't anybody said yes?
Right? Like, out of every person that's been thrown in the cube, not a single person has said yes.
They make it seem like they're so broken because he's like, what God would do this? And it's like, well, it's a mechanical cube, buddy. Like, if you believed in God, going through the cube wouldn't take away your belief in God.
Right. That's like the whole idea behind faith and religion is when you're in a fucking terrible, hopeless situation with no way out. And it's just like, well, I'm going to trust that there's something out there looking out for me because that's all I got, you know?
Right.
Like that's kind of where that came from. So it's like the idea that nobody would get to that point and say yes is wild.
Yeah. And the thing is,
does it let you out if you say yes? Or does it also just set you on fire?
I don't know. No, we don't find out.
We never find that out.
We don't know why any of this, too. Because we know, like, okay, it's a psychological experiment done by, like, a dystopian company. I need more than that, ultimately.
Right. Okay. Then it's going to sound a little contradictory, but there's 2 different things at work here. You either keep the whole thing mysterious. Because in the first movie, we get a little bit from whatever his name was, the guy that like designed the outer shell of the cube. So he at least knows what it is. But he doesn't really know who made it or what its purpose is, or where they even are. So it still could be anything. But you can't, you either leave it ambiguous or you kind of have to map it out. You can't just explain like 30% of it.
Right, because we already sort of know it's clearly like some experiment.
Probably. Like, I mean, if we're taking Hypercube as canon.
Terrible example, but this movie did. I'm going to give this movie credit over Cube 0. The Maze Runner. The Maze Runner is a dumb film.
Sure.
And it's similar to Cube. It's putting a bunch of people in a sort of maze-like place and making them do it. And the way you do a movie like that is you either have them leave the maze and then the movie ends ambiguously. In the case of the Maze Runner, they made more films, bad films, and
the Scarch.
The fucking Scarch. I think I watched the second one and never. Is there even a third one?
There is a third one, yeah.
I think I watched the second one and it was just like, nah.
I mean,
good.
we can watch all 3 of them this Friday, Dave.
Okay, and we will. But my point is that at the end of Maze Runner, spoilers, they do this half-assed explanation where they're like, we're putting you through a stressful situation because your like blood is needed to cure this disease.
Right.
So we had to
it's
do
like
this.
Some kind of disease cure. It's like, so I'm running through a maze with monsters?
Right. It's dumb, but at least there's an explanation.
Yeah.
In this, it's just like, it's government. And it's like, but why? Like, they're doing tests. Like, they're testing chemicals.
To
they're testing
what
people's
end?
psychology. Yeah, and it's like, what world is this? I'm going to need to know the world that we're in then.
How does this get approved every year for a budget?
Yeah. Why is this guy dressed this way? Why
Right.
is this...
Why is he dressed like the cherry poppin' daddy's manager?
Yeah, exactly.
What is happening?
You can't give us a world like this and just like shrug it off. So, Jesus fucking Christ. They do the God thing. The guy learns about the files. He takes the elevator down into the cube, even though that doesn't make any sense.
He just
And he
takes the
starts-
elevator down into the cube.
Yeah, he starts.
He presses
Help.
one button.
Yep, there's like two buttons.
He gets into the elevator, presses down, takes him right to the cube.
And we learn that they're up. Did you see that where it like, cuts to the top?
Yeah.
So there's a up and a down. And what really bugs me is they keep talking about the guys upstairs. And I'm doing that voice because that's my impression of the other guy, but it doesn't matter.
Can we talk real quick?
But there's no upstairs. And where did they get their fucking pills from? What is that elevator doing?
I don't know. Maybe if you pressed up, it would go further up.
Maybe.
The other, like the older guy, like the grizzled old guy, his name is Dodd. But
Dodd.
the first couple of times you see, like everybody has their name stenciled on their jumpsuits.
Yeah.
The first couple of times you see his name, it looks like it says DOOD. So I thought his name was Dude for a couple of scenes. That was a world I
Fucking
wish I
dude.
still lived in. Yeah, when this character's
dude,
name was
dude.
Dude.
Yeah. And so he goes down to the cube. We meet the mobster villains. And he like comes in and this guy was clearly told to do a whole thing. They're like, make it entertaining, be entertaining.
He was like a guy. He's like if Crispin Glover was bad at being Crispin Glover.
Yes. And at this point in the movie, I guess I can't stress how shocking it is when they show up, because there's this, they call the people upstairs once and the guy seems really like afraid. And until this moment, would you agree that even in Hypercube, the government has been like mysterious and kind of sinister?
You never see them.
No, I mean you see them at the end of Cube,
right? But they're far off, and you kind of like remember they like lead her away from the cube, and they're like way in the background, and then somebody walks up and shoots her. Like you don't really.
Yeah,
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying it's part.
Yeah. No, you don't. You definitely don't see them much.
Part of why they're kind of sinister is you don't see anyone. Period. In the first one, and then in the second one, you see them like really far away.
Yes.
So they're this creepy, overarching presence, and you're never sure what the hell they're doing.
Yes. And so, like, yeah, it's always this level of insidiousness. And this is the first time we see, like, the higher-ups, and it's like fucking Dr. Forrester from MST3K.
Right.
It's a clown show.
I was about to use the exact phrase. It is a real clown show.
Yeah, and it dissolves all the mysteriousness.
Yeah, they remove that distance and the ambiguity that made it sinister and creepy, and we have these bombastic idiots as villains.
They replace it with like these guys, like he seems like he's in his 20s. He's like, again, like he feels like a theater student, and he's just like, I'm so weird and funny. Look at me. And he's doing a whole bit, and it's like, this is a nightmare. Yeah. Because like if they should it should have been like emotionless, expressionless, maybe like faceless people that the less you know, the better. Like when he's on the phone with them and he's reacting to hearing them, I was like, yeah, that's how you do it. And then we see them and it's a fucking clown. It's awful. And so it's like, wait, these are the masterminds of the cube? This fucking dipshit?
Yeah, I mean, we are informed because he gets a phone call too where he has to sort of straighten up. So it's like these are also just kind of cogs in the wheel.
Of course.
They're just higher up than our guys are.
Right. And like, why are they allowed? They should be like government, again, Men in Black. They should be like serious government people if they're going to be anything. And instead they're fucking cosplayers. They're ridiculous.
Yes. This guy is 100% like
Yeah.
a steampunk cosplayer.
Yeah, they look like cosplayers. They're dressed like them. And he's like, they're like minions, his assistants. Like, he's like threatening them and stuff like that. It's just so cheesy.
Yeah, it is. It is very why I oughta.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's so bad. This is a terrible film.
This is a terrible film, and it's they did a terrible thing to Cube. Then so he's helping the people out. They're immediately angry at him for helping them in the Cube. These are the Cube captors. And then they do the same fucking thing they did in the others. One of the guys just starts becoming like a maniac, and he's like throwing. It's the
He's a soldier, so he has like a chip in his brain.
Yeah, but before the chip, he does
right,
the thing
before
where
the
he's
chip,
like,
he starts
"You're
behaving like
testing
a
every room."
maniac. Yeah.
Yeah, he does the thing from the other ones where he becomes weirdly aggressive, starts being like, "I'm gonna throw you in the room to test the room." And like for very little this time it's because the guy had a disease that he got, like a flesh-eating virus.
Flesh-eating virus, yeah.
And so he's just like, "I'm now mean to you." And like and then he throws him in a room to die.
Where he
and
gets
then he's like,
detonated by microwave beams.
yes, he does.
It's pretty incredible.
That is pretty incredible. And so again, like for no reason, this guy is weirdly aggressive. He's a soldier with a chip in his brain. They have to, again, they get like really mad at this guy for helping because the guy is in on it, but he comes in and he's like, "Look, I'm sorry. I was helping with the experiments. I was kind of just a button person, but I've had a change of heart. And I'm here to help you." And they're like, "Nah, fuck you." And it's like, look, he just came in. He's risking his life to help you. Like, he's clearly had a change of heart. Stop. And they're like, you stay right there. You stay right there. And they're like really weird and paranoid about him. And it's like, what the fuck, guys? Like, he just said he's there to help you.
Yeah. I mean, I get a certain level of distrust, but the fact that every character is just wildly aggressive from jump, it's just exhausting to see them go through this every single time something comes up. Like every time some obstacle presents itself, they have to argue with each other for 2 or 3 minutes, and it's the same. Exactly. It's the same argument every single time.
Yeah, it's like, I don't trust you.
This movie sucks. Yeah. Like this is an exhausting movie.
Exhausting,
and it's only 90 minutes.
It's not. It's more than that. It's like an hour 40, I think.
Is it really? Fuck that movie.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like,
"Dare
oh, no,
that
don't
movie
do that.
be this long?"
Yeah, it's a bad idea. Jesus Christ! And then so the bad guys figure out they find him. They find the guy who tried to help him, and they're like, "Okay, let's kill him by changing the traps around." And it's like, just push a button and suck all the oxygen out.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Like they do this weird, like, I'm gonna make the traps harder, or like surround you with traps, and it's like, and then he gets a call from corporate who does say, like, just kill him.
Yeah, they're like, just fucking do it.
Yeah, and then but then the other guy who's this whole time, the guy who is the partner with the other guy in the Matrix office, who's been sort of like meekly watching this happen, decides to break the equipment and has a change of heart. And that's the one thing I'll give this film, and its bare minimum, is that they do a perfectly acceptable job with that character's arc. He starts being like a coward who's like, don't ask questions, following orders. When the bad guys show up, he's like very meekly like, okay, yeah. And he's always kind of like loyal servant type. And then finally he looks at the pictures that the guy drew of him and has a change of heart and sabotages the bad guys for enough time for... he resets the cube. That's what happens.
Yeah, and he turns the power off, so it gives them enough time to escape.
Yep. So then
that's like the one narrative thing this movie handled correctly.
Yeah. Then they turn. The soldier who's weirdly aggressive now, he falls through a hole, and so they boot up his chip and they turn him into a robot. and he's like Terminator now. He doesn't feel pain.
Right.
He's decided to kill them.
For some reason, the chip in his brain makes his eyes become robot eyes.
Yep. And so it's like, oh no, third act, here we go. Robot Man gonna stop him. Turns out he's not much of a problem.
Yeah, he's the shittiest robot ever.
Shittiest
They
robot.
kick his ass twice, and then he gets incinerated.
Yep. And like, again, he grabs one of them, and then the dude rips like a bar like off of the side, and it was like, wow.
Full on like the robot should have done that.
Yep. No, but it's one of the humans, and it's like, boy, this cube is shoddy as shit.
Well, I mean, in one of the scenes, in the scene where he first shows up, whatever his name is, Win. His name is Win because this game, this movie likes to make stupid games out of the characters' names.
Yep.
Not so much in this one. But anyway, when he first shows up and the woman slams him up against the wall, you can see the wall bow in because it's just a wooden set.
Right, but like, it's one thing when the set's cheap, but like the implication he grabs,
he rips a pipe off the wall of this cube.
It's a thick, solid pipe,
yeah,
and he rips it off the wall, and it was like, well, shit, I bet you could have just like jimmied your way out of this cube at any point.
You could have just torn your way through the walls of the cube.
Yeah, and they.
Well, the funniest, that's like the first one is. Like, or does he tear the pipe off the wall in the first attack?
First attack.
Okay.
And he bashes the soldier, and the soldier goes down immediately, and that's that.
Well, no, the first time is she kicks him in the balls, and he like drops to his knees.
Yeah, I think he hits him with the pipe, and then she kicks him. Yeah, you're right.
She kicks him in the crotch from behind, and he drops like dramatically to his knees, and it's like, I thought you were like a robot. Soldier man, she kicked you in the balls.
They literally show them shutting off his pain receptors on the computer.
Yeah,
like there's a part where they do that, and it's like, well, then the balls certainly.
Yeah,
like, well, the balls are different. That's a whole other level apparently.
Yeah, it's a whole other set of neurons. We daren't deactivate those.
So the idea is in like 10 minutes when the cube restarts. It's going to refigure itself into the original configuration, and so he knows what cube to be in to get them to the escape hatch.
Mm-hmm.
Although that's a weird one because they set this up by earlier. He's just like, "Hey, my friend, dude, isn't there like a secret escape hatch I heard about?" And he's like, that's just rumors.
Like, nah, better just keep to your work.
But do they ever like identify where it is?
Nope.
Because he seemed all right, and now he knows where it is. So he's like, if we go here, we'll go into the escape hatch. So they go in there, and the cube starts reconfiguring, and then we cut to the fucking the bad guy, and this was one of the oddest moments because he's just like, they get power back finally. Like they've been useless. The bad guys are useless. They are terrible bad guys. They've done nothing so far. And he's just like, wahaha, they're falling into my trap. Like, he acknowledges that they're in the room, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, good. And his trap is just the robot attacking them again.
Yeah.
And then they easily beat up the robot.
Yeah, they just fucking beat his asshole open again.
Both robot fight scenes take about 30 seconds.
They just fucking take him to church both times. Like he doesn't do anything.
Nope. He doesn't like
robot.
kill. He doesn't kill one of them. Nothing. He has
he doesn't even injure them.
All he is the movie stretching for time. That's all he is him being like, aha, and grabbing them for a minute, and then they go, no, and they push him away, and nothing changes. Like, no character gets killed by him. He doesn't advance or change the plot in any way.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't cost them like the cube doesn't shut because of his interference. Like
Nope. He does nothing to affect the plot whatsoever.
Nope. And
then they get out. And then they get into the water, and they come out, and they send soldiers after him. And they capture the guy, and the lady gets away, and then he wakes up on a little gurney, and the villain comes out, and he's like, "It was all a test." And at this point, it's like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah, and also, why are you telling him?
Yeah. That's a good question. He realizes that the woman got away. We see they knock him out. They do brain surgery on him. We go into his memories or his head. Is it memories?
They're putting a chip in there, so I'm not sure what he's seeing.
Because he sees her in the woods with the kid and one of the drawings he made. And she's like, the person who drew this is a hero or something
It's like
that.
how'd she get the kid back? Is he just like imagining this?
How? That was my question is we only see the kid in 2 dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets the kid taken away from her by the military bad guys in the first dream. And then in the second, she's back out of the cube and it's after she's gotten out and she has the kid again. And if those aren't dreams, was the kid just like waiting outside the cube? Did the soldier like grab her and then put the kid down and be like, wait here? Or like, scram kid. Like, did they not kidnap the kid and the kid was just been in those woods the whole time? And are those woods right next to the cube?
I mean, I think it's our duty to assume the answer to all those questions is yes.
Yeah, because if she's back in the woods with the kid, like that means she doesn't live in the woods, right? Like, why?
I hope not.
Is that just she was kidnapped right next to the cube and brought to the woods and got out again? Or what was that? What was it?
I don't know. It's incredibly unclear.
And so they do the brain surgery on him, and he clearly has the same mental affliction as the guy from the first cube. And so we learn like, oh, I guess this is like if you've escaped the cube or if you're like, because they wipe your memory, but I guess they also do this to you.
Well, they like lobotomized him this time. So I think the implication is that Kazan in the first movie is somebody who used to work for the cube.
Right,
like he was one
else
of these
who
guys.
got
Yeah.
lobotomized.
Yeah, he was one of these guys.
But it should be noted, he has the same lines. That's why I thought it was, oh, this is a prequel. It's the same lines as Kazan.
It is, yeah.
So, like, it's a very specific surgery they're doing on them, I guess.
I suppose so, yeah.
If it's not a prequel.
I mean, it is a prequel, but, like, I don't...
No, I mean, you know what I mean. If it's not linked...
it's clearly not the same cube. I don't think he's the same character, because they don't even really look anything alike.
Yeah, when I'm reading, it doesn't seem like it's Kazan. Well, you know, I thought maybe it was like they couldn't get the same people.
Sure. But I feel like they would have if
what
it was.
Threw me off is he says the exact same lines.
He
That's
does,
why I was
yeah,
like,
he does.
Well, is this Kazan? But you're right, it isn't. It's not supposed to be. Doesn't matter. This movie is a real piece of shit.
This movie is a huge piece of shit.
If you notice, there's a lot of
this movie.
A lot of questions still about like the why, the daughter stuff. Because we barely talked about the daughter, but they show the daughter only in dreams. The woman is ripped from her daughter. She's spending the movie being like, "Where's my daughter?" And then at the end, in his mind, they see her with the daughter, and that she got away. And so it's like, did she get her daughter back? I don't know. Is it supposed to be like? It really feels Gilliam inspired because it's like, are they trying to do the ending of Brazil?
The ending of Brazil, yeah, where it's just in his mind. He's imagining they got away.
Right,
Possibly,
and then
possibly. I mean, that would make sense with all because the other Gilliam references are pretty apparent.
The person clearly had like at least just watched Brazil when they started making this movie.
Yes.
They were very inspired by Brazil, but this movie is not a Brazil. It's not a dystopian.
No,
like they were trying to do this weird like dystopian Matrix Brazil aesthetic and like characters, but that's not what Cube is.
No.
And they, in fact, we talked about this. They shouldn't have made a single sequel.
It really comes down to
that.
Shouldn't have. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know who made this. I don't know how it got made. I don't know. They made a movie. Good for them.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get a movie made, man.
And if it was a situation where it was like, look, someone's going to make a Cube 3, it might as well be us. Then it's like, sure. But it's sort of like, there shouldn't have been a Matrix sequel, right? But they went in a specific direction. They expanded the mythology. They said, okay, where do we go from here? We're making 2 more of these. Let's make them wild.
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of what Cube sequels would have needed to be. Like, it would have needed to be Cube 2, like, starts with someone escaping the cube and they're on an alien spaceship. You know, like, it becomes this big, elaborate, crazy thing. They just didn't have the budget to do that. So they were like, what do we do for the sequels? I don't know, cubes? More cubes?
Yeah, can we stick some more dudes in cubes? That's probably a good idea, right?
Yeah. And the problem is the first cube did everything you could do with people in cubes.
Yeah.
There was nothing more to do.
We have seen what people in cubes has to offer.
Yeah, so you either have to leave the cube or not make another cube.
Yeah.
But if you leave the cube, don't just go into an office that's clearly part of the cube and make this fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, it's a real
God
bummer.
damn it.
It's a real fucking bummer.
Yeah. That's all I have.
I don't have anything else to say about this film.
Yeah, I'm surprised we had this much to say about it. Look, again, I don't know. Man, if you're making Cube 3, do what you want. Congratulations on making the movie, but man, it's just I think I'm losing my voice.
It's just a huge bummer.
Yeah. Cube 1 is like, it's fine. It's not great. I don't think Cube 1 is amazing, but it was a very impressive indie film.
Mm-hmm.
I put it with like Run Low the Run, where it's like, oh yeah, kind of forgettable, but like really impressive and like gimmicky and fun for its time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, would rewatch every 10 years. And then like, this is just... Are we done?
Yeah, no, I mean, this is just not good.
Okay. Hey, Burrito Mouth, thank you very much for getting us through the cubes. I wouldn't have watched them otherwise, so there's something to be said about that.
That's true. Yeah, we never would have watched all of these films.
Yeah. And so you changed our lives.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you feel good about it. For the better?
I mean,
sure.
Definitely changed.
What if instead of watching Cube 2 or 3, you like took a walk and got hit by a bus?
Mm-hmm.
So Burrito Mouth could have saved our life.
That's true. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
We just don't know. So thank you. They did this through our Patreon. If you're interested in that, you go to patreon.com/gamefully unemployed. We have exclusive podcasts on there like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman and Fox Mulder is a Maniac. There's tiers where you can make us watch movies. There's tiers where you can watch movies with us every Friday night, such as the, what did we just agree on? The Maze Runner films.
The Maze Runner films, yes.
Yeah. Look forward to that.
Perfect. We also have a store, tpublic.com/store/gamefully unemployed, where you can get t-shirts, masks, mugs, stickers, posters, all kinds of stuff. So check that out.
You know what I thought was going to be the twist to this movie?
What's that?
Because the portholes, I was really on the portholes, is that the cube was going to be a sphere.
Oh.
That's how you make a cube. Cube 4, sphere.
Mm-hmm.
I just made Cube 4,
You
guys.
did, yeah. No, that's what it's got to be.
Yeah, that's a whole new fucking world.
It can't be anything but, yeah.
Yeah. The rules have changed.
Mm-hmm.
Cube 4, sphere. Written by us.
And it's just the 1998 film Sphere.
Yes.
Except it's Dustin Hoffman and inside of a cube that is inside of a sphere.
Yeah, and we'll get him. We'll get Dustin Hoffman back for it.
Yeah, it's not like he's busy.
No, he's not going to say no to this.
Why would he turn this down? It's the greatest opportunity of his life.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that?
All
Are you
right.
listening, Dustin?
Yeah, Dustin's listening.
Of course he is. Fan of the pod.
Dustin, call Samuel, call Huey Lewis. We're doing this. Cube 4, sphere.
But don't you dare fucking call us until you've called Huey.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, Huey or nothing.
Yeah, Huey or bust.